saw this thing that when they draw, like, cartoon dragons, if it's a nice dragon, they draw it in dog poses, and if it's a mean dragon, they draw it in cat poses.
So, like, How to Train Your Dragon, that's what they, like, use.
Yeah, as like, so, like, they model, like, typical, like, the way, like, felines sit, those are the evil dragons, and, like, the nice, friendly dragons are, like dogs.
Sloppy, like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't
that's
that
crazy.
funny?
That's really funny. I love that.
My mom has cats. They, like, don't like you. They're like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
I mean, they like my parents, all right, but
Well,
she has
like
one that hates to be held, and so you'll pick it up because he's like so little and cute, and you'll like cuddle you, and he'll wait until you're cuddling up with him, and then he's like, and just like slashes at you, like will attack you, and you're like, okay, all right, I'm sorry.
I mean, cats like can be mean. Like I had I love cats too, and I had cats growing up, but like I was definitely scratched and or bitten by every single one of my cats.
Oh yeah, have you seen those like on Instagram or whatever, those memes where it's like, you know, you can pet the head, you can pet like up to this point, and then like anything beyond like the middle of the back is like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
Like
And
belly,
the belly is like
taking your life into your own hands. I will murder you. They will never find the body.
Absolutely not. I had a cat in college though that was like the sweetest, chillest. It was like a dog. It was just like,
some cats are like that.
Yeah, but that's the very rare cat.
Yeah.
Like most of the time it's like, are you gonna bite me?
Yeah. I stayed over at this guy's place, and he was cat sitting this cat, and it was the craziest, neediest, like weirdest cat I've ever met in my life. Like,
Was it orange?
no, it was black.
Oh, black cats can be crazy too, but orange cats are usually nutty.
But it would like meow. It was like middle of the night, it's like meowing constantly. Like wants to like lay on the bed like this, like starfish out. Like was moving around all night, like trying to wake us up, and like. And then at one point it like attacked me like for no reason. I was like, dude, what is this?
Maybe it was just like, because cats are nocturnal. Maybe it was young, because like kittens, like at night are bad shit.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was.
I saw this.
It was like all the feelings all at once.
Yes.
Like all of the emotions.
Yeah,
of, like cats. I feel like, because usually they like fall into like a couple different categories of like how this was like ran the gamut all at once, all in one night, and I was like, just
cat zoomies.
shocked.
I saw this video of here, I don't understand why people have cameras in their bedrooms while they sleep. But that's like a thing, because you see videos from people sleeping from like funny things happening, like this one that I saw, where one of the cats got like stuck in a paper bag, and so it was like flailing about and sent the other two cats like in a craze, running all over the bed and freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it was really funny. But also, why are you recording yourself at night that you got that footage? Like, that's weird.
I'm just like, because did you hear about the Ring video, like, scandal where, like, employees were, like, watching women's videos from their homes?
Yes.
Fucking creepy.
So creepy.
Like, I would just be worried that, like, who's watching me, like, get down? Like, unintentional sex tape.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, if you don't think that somebody's watching that, you're wrong. I mean, unless it's like you've got your own like CCTV, like, so it's like, you know, you've got like the monitors in the basement just in case you're robbed. But like if you have Ring or something, or like the Amazon one.
Well, and they're all like, I mean, yeah, unless it's like hardwired into your house, they're all
going somewhere.
Going like over the internet. Like they're all like wireless in some capacity, because you like connect it to the app on your phone or whatever.
Right.
Like I have one of those cameras for the dog so that I can like, but I only set it up like when I'm not here and I need to like be able to watch him.
I didn't know that you had that.
I mean, I hardly have. So I got it for the road trip so that I could leave the camera running in hotel rooms, but then I quickly discovered that no hotel has a fast enough internet that they offer to actually have that work. It just disconnects all the time, so that was a bummer. So I tried it out, like, before I left on the road trip, here a couple times, like,
Okay.
you know, and it worked and it was great. But I always disconnected it the second I got home.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to, like, forget. Even just, like, watching me sleep, that's so weird.
It's in your room?
I mean, it's in a bag in my room right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was in the carry-on, or the toiletry bag that had all the electronics, like the air purifier and like, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's in that bag. Yeah.
All the electronics, like the air purifier.
Yeah.
For my road trip.
The non-electronics.
Fucking
Yeah.
bougie
There
bitch over
was-
here.
I mean,
Every little bit helps.
honestly, it was probably more for, like, stinky hotel rooms that came in handy. It was, like,
mean,
overly
there was
sanitized.
that one place.
Oh my god, we were just like, please!
My favorite is when,
something.
like, they put, like, those little, like, car scented things in the fucking air conditioner, and there's, like, 47 of them, and you're like, this isn't helping.
No, this is so much.
This is not helping. This
so
is
much worse.
giving
Are they-
me a migraine.
I stayed at a place too, like another, like, on the road sort of thing. And they had, like, the old school, like, you know, where there's, like, a gel inside and there's, like, a plastic container around it. They had those just
It's like-
lining the hallway.
Oh.
I'm like, what?
Cute.
Why-
That's
why-
a decorative choice.
Why is it so stinky? Like,
Gross.
What was the character?
Molly Shannon.
Molly Shannon.
Superstar.
Oh god, that, like, really dates us. Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah, that really does.
Like, I don't care, but that's just funny to me. Like, that.
I bet you people don't even get that reference. Like, people on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely, like, our age people on the internet.
I can't even remember how old I was, because I was one of the later people.
I was later, and I was 14. I started my period.
I think I was 13.
I remember because my period starting was traumatic, and I had a cyst.
Oh, right.
So that, like, my period, like, didn't start because I had a cyst, and then it finally started afterwards, so that was fun.
Yeah, that's a horror story.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was the summer before freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
And I hadn't started my period, and then I got, like, crazy cramps, like, debilitating cramps, and, like, went to the doctor, and this doctor was like, oh, like, she's just about to start her period, and sent me home.
Mm-hmm.
Went back to see her again, same thing, she just, like, dismissed it. She was like, no. And then I went to a Chinese herbalist who was like, something's going on with, like, your female parts. Back to a different doctor who finally was like, I think this might be an ovarian cyst, like, and because it was the weekend, I had to go into the emergency room because, like, that was, like, where the, like, on-call doctor was.
Right.
And, yeah, got admitted to the hospital, and they were like, we're going to put you on birth control to help, like, dissolve the cysts, and if that doesn't work, then we're going to prep you for emergency surgery. And
Fucking crazy.
But, like, the thing that's craziest to me about this, like, is how many doctors, like, that I saw a doctor and she just dismissed it as cramps. And I was just, like, it got to the point by the end that, like, I couldn't even walk. I was so doubled over in pain.
Yeah.
And, like, that's a whole other topic. It's the American healthcare system.
Well, yeah. And they're, like, not taking women seriously.
Yeah, not taking women's pain seriously. Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't until, like, I had to be, like, physically helped into the doctor's office, and, like, they saw that I couldn't even walk.
Yeah.
That they were like, oh, no, this is really serious.
This might be something real.
Yeah, and, like, meanwhile, it had been going on for almost a week, and when I finally got into the emergency room, they were like, well, this could burst, or,
Yeah.
like, we're gonna admit you right now and prep you for surgery, and it's just, like,
Well, and when they're that big, when they burst, it's like you can die of, like, internal bleeding.
yeah, it's
You
like
can
a
bleed out.
big deal. And the thing is, too, is, like, that, I mean, granted, I hadn't started my period yet, but, like, we had already had, like, you know, human sex, like, body education, anatomy, like, you know,
basically.
the
For
basic,
your gender.
yeah, specifically and only for your gender.
Yeah.
So, like, that had already happened. So, like, I knew about the things. But, like, things like, you know, obviously you don't want to scare kids. But, like, cysts are very common.
Yeah.
And, like, my experience with it was very uncommon.
Yeah.
And, you know, pretty serious.
Right.
But having ovarian cysts is really common. And, like, they can come and go.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I've had 2 that burst. They were small though, and it was like a day. And you don't know what it is. Both times I thought I had appendicitis, because that's what it feels like. It feels like a stabbing pain in your side.
Yeah.
To the point where, luckily, both times it was on the side that your appendix isn't on.
Oh, well, there you go.
So I knew it wasn't that, but
Right.
I had no idea what it was. And, like, I remember I was on a flight one time when it happened. And like, you just feel, like, pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And pain.
Yeah.
And so you're like doubled over, but you also feel like you might shit your pants. So I flew all the way from New York to Los Angeles, not really realizing, because I've only had this happen twice.
Right.
So it would have been like years and years.
Right.
And so probably somewhere over like Omaha, I realized what was happening. But I flew almost the entire way in the tiny ass bathroom on the plane because I didn't know what was gonna happen to my body.
Yeah. No, that actually was like exactly my experience with it too. That like feeling of like, yeah, am I gonna shit my pants?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just like doubled over.
Yeah.
Like, and
it
like,
feels like stabby.
Yeah.
It's very stabby.
Well, and we also know from like, at that point I didn't know. I had no basis of comparison for like what period pain was like. But like, in retrospect, like, period pain is nothing comparatively.
Oh, no. Like, period pain is, like...
Yeah. And not to diminish period pain.
No, but this is, like...
Yeah,
literally,
on a whole nother level.
I've never been stabbed, but I imagine, like, it feels like you're being stabbed or shot. Like, it feels violent.
Yeah.
And sharp.
Yes.
It is sharp pain.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, too, like...
And it's unending. That's the thing.
What and my point of bringing up compared to period pain makes period pain seem like nothing. They have now said that period pain can be equivalent to the pain experienced in a heart attack.
Yeah.
So the
fact that this is so much worse.
Yeah. I remember I had this when I was in the emergency room first before I got admitted. The emergency room doctor, this older man, came in, and I have this distinct memory of him trying to explain to my dad, who was in the hospital with me, like, what I was going through. And he was like, it would be as if your balls swelled up to the size of grapefruits. Like, how painful that would be, how uncomfortable you would be.
We've lost every single male listener in case there were any out there. They're like, and we're done. But no, it's true.
Yeah.
Like,
but I also just
as a
remember...
frame of reference.
I also just remember being like, yeah, like 13 or 14, and I can't remember if I had turned yet. Being so horrified, even having to like contemplate that, and just being like, I hate this, but also on a lot of medication and not knowing what was going on at all.
But yeah, it's crazy, and like I had a friend who had to get an ovarian. She had to have an ovarian cyst surgically removed. It was the size of a fucking grapefruit.
Oh my god.
She lost the ovary, obviously, but
yeah.
And she was just really nauseous. Because, like, can you imagine having a fucking grapefruit pushing against all your other internal organs?
Yeah, that can't feel good.
And so she was just, like, puking a lot.
Yeah.
And they thought it was a stomach flu.
Right.
And, yeah, it took, like, 3 days for them to, like, let's take an ultrasound. And they had to admit her for emergency surgery.
Yep. That's the thing that, like, again,
where if they'd taken an ultrasound, like, oh, you're having, like, general badness in this area.
Right.
Let's just do an ultrasound and see what's going on.
Right? Like, how
is
that was
that
the
not
same...
a normal for, like, a woman? Because we have, like, this organ that is constantly shifting.
Yeah.
How is that not just, like, standard operating procedure?
Because if they had done that with me on day one, instead of sending me home day after day as I kept coming back, they would have seen.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they probably would have caught it way earlier before it got bigger. Like, especially for my friend. Like,
yeah.
And maybe she wouldn't have lost the ovary.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I got lucky that the pill worked. Also, this is, like, interesting because this is a bigger picture with women. So, the hospital I was in was St. Jude, and it was a Catholic hospital. So, they couldn't prescribe birth control, and they didn't carry birth control. So, one of the nurses was nice enough that she was getting off shift. Yeah. So, she went and filled, like, at a, like, regular pharmacy, the prescription for me, and then, like, basically smuggled it back into the hospital for me and got it for me so that I could start taking it.
That's, like, what it's gonna be like. It's like that now when so many states, like, just anyway, but it probably needs to be its own fucking episode because that's a whole
I
can
thing.
Speak about that for
I mean, that's its own, and the American health care system
that's
its own
oh my God.
Conversation.
Me da calor. That's what my Cuban grandmother used to say. It's not the heat wave, it's my anger.
I like that. That's good. Say that again.
Me da calor.
Okay.
It gives me heat. Well, that's the literal translation, but I think it's like makes me hot.
Yeah.
But it means like, yeah, that sound. So I looked up random facts about periods because even though I've been having a period for like 20 some odd years, I just Googled like interesting facts about periods, and there were like a lot of them that like I didn't even know. This is
so
one.
Crazy.
Okay. Vicarious menstruation is something, it's very rare. There's only been like a handful of cases ever recorded, but it can lead to bleeding other places like your eyes. Your period can cause you to bleed out your eyes. Right?
How have I never heard, like, is that real?
Yeah, so there's only been, like I said, like a handful of cases ever recorded. But basically what happens is, like, for some reason, the, like, uterine tissue migrates in your body and then comes out other organs, like your eyes.
No. No. No.
It's like, you have to laugh because it's so fucking comical.
Like, oh my God. I mean, I hope.
You know what else makes you bleed out your eyes? Fucking Ebola.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Like, am I on my period or is it Ebola? I don't
know. Toss up. No, it's super, 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 super rare.
Right. But there are actual documented
cases. The fact
cases.
that it's happened
at all.
Yeah, like
it wasn't Ebola related.
So the fact that I don't get a week off for my period, maybe if my eyes started bleeding,
seriously,
you'd understand.
Seriously, if you could see the blood seeping out of me, then maybe you would.
Yeah, if we bled out our eyes every period, I bet I'm sure as shit they would not let us go to work.
No, that would be a health hazard.
Can you even? You'd have to wear like special goggles.
So weird.
Oh. But anyway, that one I had to write the whole thing down because the rest of them I like just have little notes. But I can kind of. But that one I was like, what? I have literally never heard of that.
No.
And.
The female body in particular, but the human body. The things that it can do and that it does is so weird. Like going back to how we were talking, like, you know, like health class, sex ed, health, and like health capacity, like when they teach it in like 5th grade or whatever, 6th grade maybe.
Church on Sunday.
Yeah, seriously. Fine, if you need to separate it, boys and girls, because of the subject matter and controlling
and the giggling.
4th grade and 5th graders. I get that.
Yeah.
But I think that they should be teaching both male and female health to both sexes. Like, I feel like that should just be not such a mystery to the opposite sex. Like, that there are men out there, like, we've seen these, you know, everybody's, like, got the, like, on the street question thing. But
yes.
Yeah, but we've seen the one where they ask men just, like, how many tampons does a woman use? How long is a period? How, like, really simple, basic, general health questions that they just get so unbelievably wrong that, like, why are we not teaching this?
The average woman uses 18 tampons per period.
Wow, that's more than I thought.
Well, and then the average period, this was crazy, this range was crazy to me, is 2 to 7 days. Like, whoever is only having a 2-day period,
Seriously.
like,
I've had
won the genetic lottery.
I've had a couple 2-day periods, and I'm always like, oh my god, this is magical.
Okay,
I mean,
wow.
I could, like, count them on one hand in my life, so that's, fair enough.
I had a period for 30 days once. Like, I was on my period the whole time, and then I just started my period again.
That's when you go to a hospital.
Well, it was, like, when I was really young, so we did call the doctor.
Yeah.
And she was like, well...
It's just, like, you're just basically spotting all month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't, like, heavy, but it was just...
When I was on birth control, if I, like, remembering to take pills is challenging for me, which is why I also went off birth control. But I went on it for the ovarian cyst. So, but I noticed, like, as I got older and wasn't as good at taking it, that I could end up doing the same thing, like spotting for like a month straight. And it was just because you miss a pill and you immediately start spotting.
I went off the pill because I'm never having sex. I don't know. No, I went off the pill because I didn't want to take that high of hormones because I had to, if I didn't take all those like low and whatever that are like better for you, I couldn't take them. I would just spot the whole time. Even taking it at the same time every day, even like I was just spotting all the time.
That's so annoying. And I just never like, I feel like it's a very controversial topic, and I think it's also because it's anything to do with women is just not well researched.
Yeah.
But like it's a very polarizing. That's the word I was looking for. It's a very polarizing topic, birth control. Because, especially like hormonal birth control, especially because like obviously there's other forms of birth control,
right?
But like the pill specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never felt good on it. It always made me like more PMS-y.
Yeah, it does. It does. It made me. I had side effects from it too, for sure.
Yeah.
But then it's also like, what are you gonna do? It's like the only way you can like be in control of things.
Yeah. Well, and also I really liked it for a while because I was in control of when my period was happening. So.
Oh yeah.
Especially like in college, and you're like summer and you're doing things at the beach and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's California, so you're at the beach like 7 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And so it was really nice to be able to like skip periods or like plan when your period was going to come and avoid like a beach trip or whatever. There are pros and cons to the pill. You know what I also heard is that male birth control, they've had male birth control, but the side effects have been similar to that of the pill, and men are like, no, we can't take this. We feel icky. Which is, again, why I think
I'm
that
just blinking.
General health should be taught to boys in school and girls in school for both sexes.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know what happens to men in puberty. Like, their voices drop, their balls get bigger, their dicks get bigger, they get hairier. But is there, like, other shit? I don't know.
I mean, and they talk about, like...
And I'm, like, a grown-ass woman.
Yeah. Well, the fact that, like, we're reading things about periods and learning stuff, like, there should just be... It should just be demystified more.
Yeah. The whole, like... segregation of it all and like the separation of church and state when it comes to like learning about periods and stuff like creates like this like culture of like having to hide it, and it's like, why should I be embarrassed about it?
Yeah, like the fact that as like high schoolers we'd be like hiding the pattern.
Yeah, it's a fucking tampon, not a like heroin. Like,
yeah, like everybody, like 50% ish of people in this room are bleeding. Well, or not bleeding, but bleed.
100% of the people in this room.
Oh, well, in this room, I'm saying like in a classroom setting.
Oh, I was like, this room, like, what's happening?
Let me try that again. In a classroom setting, when we're like hiding things up our sleeve, like,
I know.
why? Like 50% of the people in that room
Yeah.
are bleeders.
Yeah. Her bleeders.
Are bleeders.
At
Like-
any given time, 26% of the world's population is currently menstruating. Not like currently bleeding, but
Right.
like currently menstruates.
Right. Oh.
26%.
That's lower than I thought.
Doesn't mean, but you think about, like, you're only, I did read this. Like, the average menstruator is on their period, let's be inclusive.
Yes.
On their period for 7 years of their life. Like how they say you spend 3 years sleeping.
Yeah.
You spend 7 years bleeding.
And when you think of like the side effects that come along with the bleeding, that I spend 7 years in physical pain.
Yep. 7 years.
You know what else I think should be a requirement except you can't like harm children, is the...
Okay, I'm interested. Sorry.
The period simulators, which are actually just a TENS machine, which is like a electromagnetic pulse wave thing for like to simulate. Like I have one because of my
your back. Yeah.
They
They did it to my foot when I broke my foot.
Yeah.
To like stimulate so your like muscles don't atrophy and shit.
Yeah. But I guess if you put it on like your lower abdomen and like a little bit higher,
I heard you had to put it on your back too.
That's good for like people who get back cramps. Like there's only 4 things, so
you gotta pick.
You gotta pick where you're.
We hurt in more than 4 places, okay? Just for the record.
Yeah, let's put some on our head. Let's put some on our boobs. Let's put some on our.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, and I'm sure we've all seen those videos. Like guys can't take it, and the girls, it's like they turn them on and they're like, oh no, that's nothing.
Yeah, like that's it. Oh, okay.
It's like, surprising at first, but then you're like, oh no.
Yeah. Well, and I think that like those like. Everyone should have to experience that. Also, because I think that would be, I don't know if my cramps, like where they fall on the baseline of like how bad period cramps. Like maybe I'm one of the really lucky ones and like mine are not as bad comparatively. Or like maybe mine are actually way worse than most people's and I'm just like, nah, it's fine.
Like, because there's different kinds of cramps. Like the back cramps for me are always just like, it just feels like
a back spasm.
Not even a back spasm. It's not like crampy like that. It just aches. It's just like sore.
Yeah, I get that too, where I just have like a sore back.
Like you kind of feel like, have I been like arching my back lately, or what's that? Like that's what it feels like on my back.
I get spasmy. I think because I already have a bad back, and so then it's sore, and then it starts to get like
spasmy. Yeah, because you're tweaked.
Yeah.
But. Like, you have, like, regular cramps that are just kind of, like, your all-day, everyday baseline.
Yeah. And it's not, like, 24/7. They come in waves.
And then you've got, like, the really bad ones where you're, like, blood rushes out of your face. Cold sweat. You have to stop and hold on to the earth so you don't fall off the side.
Yeah.
And
you're like do some like Lamaze breathing.
You
might you're like
pass out or throw up or shit your pants. What the hell? Fucking spam. My computer is closed. How did my computer pick that up?
That was weird.
I don't even think it's connected. I tried to disconnect it. Anyways, I remember one time I was crossing Amsterdam Avenue, so like huge friggin' street, and I got one of those in the middle of the crosswalk, and I was like, well, we're stopping here because I can't keep walking. I hope it stops before the light changes.
Yeah, you just have like a minute where you're like,
I need to take a breath here. But
that like get the cold sweats.
Yeah. You just feel kind of hungover. It's similar to being hungover.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we've talked about this, the theory that getting kicked in the balls is
Mhm.
similar feeling to a really bad period cramp.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've heard it described as, like, a dull, like, kind of deep ache
And nausea.
and nausea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about... And then you add on top sometimes a very sharp
Right. I mean,
pain.
yeah, so you guys sit there and you complain about getting your balls hurt all the time, and it's like, welcome to every
month.
fourth week of my life. No problem. That's just where we're at.
Yep. You know what else I didn't learn, like, until recently, and is, I think, so important, and, like, fine if we're not teaching this in, like, 4th grade.
Uh-huh.
Why are we not teaching this in high school health class?
Yeah.
But the 4 phases of a woman's period, that there's menstruation and ovulation.
Yeah, those are the gimmies.
Those are the gimmies. And then there's the luteal or however you pronounce it.
I just know how it's spelled, so.
Yeah. And the follicular,
Yes.
where, like, the little follicles. And so it's basically your period, before ovulation, post-ovulation, period,
Yep.
and repeat.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Until menopause, which has its own fun.
Yeah, long list of shit symptoms. And yeah, the fact that they don't, like, that's a whole nother topic, is that they don't teach anything about perimenopause and menopause. Like,
Yeah.
that all these, like, women, like, are just supposed to figure it out as, like, their insides of their body are heating up to the surface of
near
the sun.
solar temperatures.
They're like, what is this? You know what's crazy to me is that it wasn't until, like, recent weeks, like, actual weeks, that they have now started testing period products with actual blood.
Oh, yeah. They were, like, testing with, like, water, which,
yeah,
for everyone that has a period,
not
you know,
the same
it's
viscosity.
not the same.
I mean, maybe they tested with something of a similar viscosity too. I won't deny them that. But it's still not the same thing. Like, why
Yeah.
not just use...
Well, and it's not even all blood, though.
Yeah, like, why are we not...
There's, like, tissue and stuff coming out. Like,
And so they're saying that, like, the absorbency of what they say, like, tampons and pads are actually absorbent for is all wrong because it was measured using water or whatever. Recent weeks, like, that this, our entire bleeding lives...
our entire bloody lives.
I mean, already, like, at least finally, they're not using blue liquid anymore. There are a couple of, like, periods where they use, like, red liquid. Yeah.
The blue liquid. I can't. Like,
yeah. And it was just blue water, like, dyed, like, look how absorbent this is. But that's not how that works. Also, like, it's period blood. It wouldn't be hard to, like, collect and, like, use to test.
how would you do that, though?
Menstrual cup.
Just gotta, like, ship you my period blood?
No, I mean, you would have people, like, you know, they hire, like,
They're gonna,
you know,
like,
a medical...
farm it out.
Well, like, you know, they hire, like, you can do medical studies for money.
Yeah.
Like, that
Just
would...
have, like, a herd of menstruating women on a college campus.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be super easy. You pay them, like, $100 a day. They come in.
And give you their period
And
blood.
give them, like, every time you have to
I mean,
empty a
menstrual cup.
you just... Or they keep you, like, I've seen ones, like, where they keep you for, like, a week, so then you just go live there for the week of your...
Okay, that's, like, a little, like,
That's, like, what those people who do, like,
creepy, though.
those people who do, like, the medical testing for money to, like, pay their way through college, that's,
Right.
like, what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're, like, I mean, they make a ton of money, but you're, like, signing up for, like, a week, and you go and, like, live in a hospital, but you make your, like, rent for the year.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
I mean, I agree. Medical testing's crazy.
that
Like,
sounds like a little too Stanford prison experiment for me.
but that's, like, super common.
No, I know.
That's my point, is that it's super common. So, like, getting this as a thing to test on should not be difficult. We already do medical testing. We already have people staying overnight. Just get a bunch of menstruating women in there and collect their period blood. Done.
It's for science.
Yeah.
Yeah, why does that freak me out a little bit? I don't know.
I mean, medical testing is creepy. You are putting your body...
They're like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You're probably going to die.
I mean, you're definitely going to have to sign a form.
It says, if you die, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this guy on him and his girlfriend, like, do medical testing, like, all the time. Like, as a way to make money. And, like, they're obviously, like, a little specific on
Yeah.
picking and choosing. But, yeah, they had ones where they go and stay for a week and, you know, they just have to, like, test your blood, like, every, like, couple of hours or something so they can't, like, have you leave.
Yeah, speaking of bleeding out your eyes.
Like, what side effects are you signing up for? Oh, you know what else I think should be taught in the classroom is how to use a tampon to both men and women. Like,
have you seen the videos of
Exactly.
guys trying to figure out how to use a tampon?
and they use, like, a water bottle as, like,
Yeah.
you know, the vagina that you, like, you know, and how you...
Yeah. Which is also, it's an angle.
Yeah,
like,
it's gotta be the other way.
There's a learning curve on that.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
Even,
Which is why it should be taught to both men and women. Like demystify everything. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I only
Why are
had
the
health
rules
in
changed?
5th grade.
yeah, I had health at that was a whole other experience though. That was like supposed to be teaching you about periods, and instead they were teaching you about like how this is God's gift to you. And I'm like, wait a minute.
You're like, this
is
sounds
not.
like where is the gift receipt?
Yes, this is not a gift. I would like.
I
Why?
would like to return this gift. Thank you very
why
much.
do I get this gift and the men get no gifts? What do they get? Like, why are we getting gifts? What this is terrible.
Oh my god.
So that wasn't helpful either. But yeah, I did, and I feel like the health in high school was like all kind of very general health. So we did cover a little bit, but it was like very,
Yeah.
very like. I took it in summer school for like 3 weeks or something like
Yeah,
that.
I
It
mean, I feel
wasn't-
like you always see like in like movies and stuff, it's like an assembly, like
Yeah.
with the football coach.
Yeah, and like it's like a 1-day thing.
Yeah.
And like they put up like a VHS tape and
I mean, that's what it was like for me for in elementary school. Which arguably there's a lot more to learn in elementary school because
yeah.
you go in, by the time you get to high school, you've gone through most of those changes. So
Yeah, that's the time
I
you
should
wanna
actually
learn
teach
it.
you about sex in high school. Do they not? guess
I
that
mean, I
didn't
think
take-
that's I wasn't offered really. I mean, the health class was like I said again, like very like I don't remember really covering anything sex ed style. Too. I mean, we're banning books. We're not.
Yeah,
We're not teaching.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Generation after like Gen Z is gonna actually think a stork shows up with a kid.
Seriously.
Okay, this is a hill I'm gonna die on. Who created scented feminine hygiene products?
Oh my god, I was literally just thinking about this. Like,
Because they are a UTI waiting to happen, and I refuse to believe that some woman made that, like, decided that that was a good idea.
also, they smell terribly. Like, I've accidentally bought them, or like ordered
Yeah.
online and been sent the wrong thing, sort of situation.
Yeah.
And they smell terrible. They smell like
They smell like the air fresheners
Yes!
in cheap motels.
yes, that's exactly what they smell like. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that is not how I would like my vajayjay to smell. Like, just like.
And it's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a little muskier because I'm expelling bloody tissue from my body.
Yeah.
So that because I am able to carry your seed. Get over it.
Like, oh, it smells a little like blood? Yes, because I am actively bleeding. Like, blood has a smell.
yeah, but the scented products,
Then it just,
like,
it's like using, it's like
douching, all
all
of
of that.
stuff.
Well, I was
is
going to
like-
say it's like using air freshener over poop. Like, then you just have poop smelling air freshener. You just have blood smelling floral potpourri. Blech. So gross. Also, just so unsanitary. I mean, already we're fighting to find period products that, like, aren't using harsh chemicals and bleach
yeah,
for, like, a tampon that we're putting inside our bodies.
for up to 8 hours at a time.
Yeah. That seems long. I mean...
Tampon you can leave in for up to 8 hours. A cup you can leave for up to 12.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you seen that? I think she's British. That woman who does, like, dresses up as, like, parts of the body, and, like, she's got one where she's dressed as a tampon, and she's, like, being, like, pulled out of the room, like, ah! That's exactly what that's like. Awful. Awful sensation.
It is. Or, like, yeah, you like, it's like, it takes, like, a lot of effort sometimes to get it out.
That was what was really funny, like, teaching men how to use tampons. Granted, you have to do it upside down, because you have water in the water bottle, so that when the tampon drops in, it absorbs the water, and then they would have them, like, try to, like, pull it out, and it's
hard.
It's hard, and sometimes that's what it's like.
Yeah. Or, like, have you gotten, like, the cramp when you put it in for the first time and you didn't do it quite right, and you like tweaked something, and all of a sudden you're like, no! And it, like, sets off this domino effect of cramps, and you're like, oh man, I didn't mean to. Like, I've made a mistake.
I'm sorry, body. Or, like, when you put one in and it, like, didn't go in right, and then you think it's okay, but then you go and sit down and you, like, feel it pinch you, and you're like, nope, that's not.
I'll be right back.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, and also, why is it so hard to find period products in the world?
Like every store puts them in, like, a different, like,
and they're
section.
constantly, like, moving them around, but I guarantee you it's always, like, over the river and through the woods. Like, you just go past the pharmacy, around the corner, and then, like, behind behind the staff bathrooms, that's where the period products are. Oh, and this week we only have Super Plus tampons that are scented.
Yeah.
So the rest of them are sold out.
And you're like, what?
26% of the world's population needs these products. And even though that sounds like not a lot, that is over a quarter of the world's population needs these products. I guarantee you there is not another product on the planet that over a quarter of the world's population needs them.
Will sell.
Yes.
Like, keep them in stock. And
anyway.
It's so nice hearing, though, that there are so many, like, states and school districts and places now that are supplying period products free.
Good, because I feel like at some point, like, I turned, like, 25 and they started getting rid of, like, the dispensers in...
Oh, yeah.
Like, there used to be dispensers in, like, every public bathroom.
Yeah.
And granted, like, when you would get that stuff, it would be,
from
like...
1974?
Yeah, you'd, like, unfurl this pad that was, like, about this big and this thick.
But, like, sitting, like, 3 inches off the chair.
Yeah. Like, my yoga mat is thinner than these pads.
Oh, yeah.
But still, like, at least you had an option.
Absolutely.
Now it's like you're, like, wadding up toilet paper and trying to, like, plug a hole in yourself
and,
so
like,
you can, like,
get
get home.
And, like, wrapping your underwear in toilet paper and just, like, praying. Yeah.
I also read that most women say that they have ruined every single pair of underwear they've owned with a period stain.
I mean, I believe that. Like, I tend to, like, wear period-specific underwear, so that I'm not ruining literally every single pair of underwear that I own.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I have to, while on my period, like, think about that.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, at any given moment, any of these things, terrible things that we've talked about, could be happening, and where you could just be standing there presenting in a meeting.
Yep.
Having coffee with you, having dinner, like...
Yeah, like...
Just carrying on about normally, and you have no idea. Like, tampons are expensive, and you will, like, any woman you ask to borrow a tampon will absolutely
100%.
be like, do you need a pad? Do you need a light day? Do you need a heavy flow? What do you need? Like, we're always willing to, like, because we know what it's like when you're like, shit, this...
What am I going to do?
This surprised me. And no matter how much you track, and I'm like, I mean, that's the thing too, is like in learning all of this stuff and in starting to like really track my cycle, I've learned that like my migraines are very hormonally triggered, and like,
yeah, that's a thing.
Like that there's like a diagnosis involved with that, and that it's not just random and happenstance. I mean, it took me a very long time of actively having my period for me to like figure that out, but no one taught that to me. No one that like so many ovulation cramps, that you can get cramps while ovulating.
Or spotting.
Yeah.
That you're not dying.
Yeah, that's totally normal. And so if you're tracking your cycle, then you know, like, oh, I don't feel good today. Oh,
right.
That's what this is. And it's not like you come up with a solution to the problem, but at least you have an answer to, like, what is causing.
You don't have to sit there being like, I wonder if I'm dying.
Yeah, like, what is, like, is this
I need to go to the doctor? Yeah, which is also a possibility, let's be honest.
Is this ovulation cramps?
Yeah, IBS or period poops, I don't know.
Yep. Oh, what day of my cycle? Oh, okay.
There we go.
There we go.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
But that right there, like, the fact that none of that was, like, really taught. Like,
no, I feel like I'm still learning this stuff. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. We just, like, it's something that should just openly be talked about. It's just, like, a general, it's like pooping and peeing. Like, it's just something that happens biologically.
Yeah.
I was going to say, or, like, ejaculation. It's not even like that. It's, like, that's tied to sex. Like, this is like pooping or peeing. It's just something that naturally happens, like, less often than, evacuating your bowels.
Yeah, I poop more often than I bleed.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, if not,
there's another reason
stop
to go to the
this
hospital.
And immediately call 911 and get me to a hospital.
Seriously.
All right, little factoids.
Okay.
First pads were invented and sold in 1921.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, there was a little box that you would put your money in, so you could, like, surreptitiously take the empty, like, blank, no, like, labelage, no signage.
Right.
And so that you could keep your purchase on the DL.
So basically us hiding pads and tampons up our sleeve started
in 1921 when they were first invented.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Cool.
Then, the first tampons were made and patented in 1931 by a man.
Okay.
Which kind of boggles my mind.
Interesting, yeah.
So apparently in 1931, men knew more about what was going on than they do now because...
Well, that, I bet there was a tie in there. I'd be curious to see. I bet it was a doctor or someone in the medical field, which would have only been allowed to be men at that point of time.
Well, and also, like, could a woman patent anything in 1931?
Exactly.
Like, you couldn't
and
own
was
anything.
Was the pad also patented by a man? Probably.
I couldn't find that, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would assume.
This probably just has to do with sexism. And
yeah,
I mean,
so
women couldn't vote, so they weren't making things.
Yeah, like his wife was, like, making tampons out of, like, toilet paper, and he was like, that's a brilliant idea. Let's put a little string on there to help every once in a while. Because, they go up too far sometimes, and you're, like, digging in there to find the string.
Like, it's, like, this long.
Yeah, and you're like... And then in I want to say it's 1941, it might be 1940, but Kotex and Disney got together and created the first, like, period video.
Was this to be shown to kids?
I don't know, I haven't watched it.
Okay.
But let's watch it.
Okay.
The Story of Menstruation in 1946.
Okay.
Oh. It really looks like a Disney movie.
It really does.
Through the courtesy of Kotex Products, a Walt Disney production.
Why is nature always called Mother Nature? Perhaps it's because, like any mother, she quietly manages so much of our living without our ever realizing there's a woman at work. To most girls, the menstrual period should bring no severe discomfort.
I don't get it.
Some girls have a little less pep, a feeling of pressure in the lower part of the body, perhaps an occasional twinge or a touch of nerves. But don't let it get you down.
Twinge!
After all, no matter how you feel, you have to live with people. You have to live with yourself, too.
You have to live with
once you stop
people.
feeling sorry for yourself and take
I
everything in your
refuse.
stride, you'll find it easier to keep smiling and even-tempered. You can do practically
fuck
everything
this
you
thing.
normally do. Oh, come now. We said practically everything. provided you take common sense care of yourself.
Oh my
Exercises
God.
to relieve, and incidentally, it's smart to keep looking smart. That well-groomed feeling will give you new poise and extra morale, especially when it's backed up with year-round fresh air and sunshine and plenty of rest and sleep. Life is built on cycles,
misogyny.
and the menstrual
They
cycle
really just
is
kind
one
of
normal
casually
and
slid
natural
that right in
part
there.
of
Right?
nature's eternal plan for passing on the gift of life.
The gift of life, Jim, the gift! It's a gift! Fucking crazy.
Wow. That was kind of everything I expected it to be, and I was still so surprised.
Yeah. I thought they did a pretty good job in the beginning.
Yeah,
Before
it's-
they started telling you to suck it up, bitch, and like people anyway, and